Who told you our location?
Hello and welcome to SquaredEyesT.V. Today we'll cover The Creator, a science fiction film making waves in the community. From the brilliant mind that brought us the 2010 movie Monsters, Godzilla, and the highly acclaimed Rogue One, a Star Wars story. The film boasts of visually stunning set pieces, a captivating story, and some remarkable performances. This sci-fi epic thriller will definitely have you at the edge of your seats with 2 heart-wrenching performances. If you like the video, remember to hit like and subscribe. The story is set in a world where technology has advanced to a level where robotics have seamlessly integrated into all aspects of life. To build a stable workforce, scientists have applied their research on the human brain to create artificial intelligence to give robots life and independent thought. With its most recent technological advancement, researchers have provided AI with an entirely robotic body, later called simulants, making them more human than humans.
We can give them to a fully robotic body, making them more human than human.
Over time, robotics have been placed in every sector, even the defense system. Fun fact, did you know that director Gareth Edwards used AI as a metaphor for people different from them? The film captures the reality of how people react towards others who are unlike them, making them question their own beliefs. In the year 2055, a nuclear warhead was detonated over Los Angeles, California, killing millions of people. After investigating the incident, it was discovered that the artificial intelligence created to protect them was actually behind it. In response, the military banned AI from the Western nations and waged war against them, hoping to prevent humanity's extinction.
We banned AI in the Western world, so this will never happen again. This is a fight for our very existence.
Despite such a horrific incident, people of the so-called New Asia continue to embrace it and even develop AI, treating them as equals. With that said, the military has come forth with their stance and declared that as long as AI continues to be a threat, they will not stop hunting them. The military has been seeking Nirmata, the mysterious chief engineer behind these AI advancements, for years. Now, it makes you wonder if this Nirmata is as intelligent as Jimmy Neutron. The United States ship Nomad, short for North American Orbital Mobile Aerospace Defense, has been developed as an advanced space station capable of tracking AI from outer space and launching precise destructive attacks from orbit. Army Sergeant Joshua Taylor has infiltrated the enemy camp as an undercover operative under the pretense of earning the trust of his pregnant wife, Maya Fey, who the military believes to be Nirmata's daughter. Fun fact, it would be remiss if people failed to see the reference to Nomad being inspired by Star Wars' Death Star. At a beach in New Asia, the U.S. military deploys operatives to attack Taylor's home under orders to assassinate Nirmata. Taylor tries to call them off, but gets his cover blown as a double agent seeking to use Maya to find Nirmata. Distraught over their discovery, Maya runs away. She escapes by boat, but is subsequently hit by a Nomad strike, blowing everything up with Maya and the unborn child included. Years have passed since his wife's death, and Taylor returns to the city to work as part of the cleanup crew in Los Angeles. Wallowing in grief, Taylor is reminded of how he first met Maya when he went to have his prosthetic limbs maintained. He was later approached by General Andrews and Colonel Howell to be recruited for a mission. It appears that the military has uncovered Nirmata's lab and has received word that he has developed a superweapon called the Alpha O.
Our intelligence tells us that Nirmata's developed a superweapon called Alpha O,
which is said to be capable of taking down Nomad, thus shifting the balance of the war in favor of the AI. Despite the urgency, Taylor refuses, still displeased at how the military cost him his wife and his unborn child with their last raid. They later convince him when Colonel Howell shows him surveillance footage of what appears to be a very much alive Maya. Here's another fun fact. Did you know that the film score was inspired by Western themes, but made using Asian instrumentation? Disney legend Hans Zimmer and superstar composer Steve Mazzaro have worked on the soundtrack for the movie, which is different from what they're usually known for. If someone played the soundtrack without knowing anything, they would not have guessed that it was a masterpiece by Hans Zimmer. During a mission briefing, Colonel Howell explains to the team that the locals and even the police of New Asia have sided with the AI and urged them never to get caught. The team quickly took hold of the village built on top of the lab. After infiltrating the lab, Taylor gets separated from the strike team and enters a sealed vault believed to be where they were keeping the weapon. He was shocked to find a robotic simulant in the form of a young girl. Taylor chases after the girl while the rest of the team scrambles before Nomad bombards the area with a missile strike. Here's another fun fact. Did you know that the scene where Alfie escapes from the underground lab and comes across a field under heavy fire? The The people running in the field in the background are actual real nuclear physicists of the area who requested they become part of the film in exchange for letting them shoot on site. Well, Taylor survives the bombing and later runs into Shipley, a team member who's gravely injured. They seek shelter at a nearby house away from the robot drones combing the area for survivors. The simulant girl, later nicknamed Alfie, finds Taylor and follows him around. She's later revealed to have the ability to control technology around her. Given the situation, Colonel Howell orders Taylor to kill Alfie, but disobeys when he realizes that she could lead him to Maya when Alfie draws a familiar symbol. Taylor then drives off with Alfie in an old beat-up truck when police bots surround the house. It was kind of funny to see a dog playing catch with a bomb where it casually picks it up and takes it back to the police bots. They managed to get some distance from their pursuers before Shipley and the truck died. Taylor and Alfie later hitched a ride to the city to find Drew, Taylor's former commanding officer. Colonel Howell and team leader McBride close in on Taylor and Alfie after escaping from the cops. They find a lifeless Shipley at the back of the truck. They use a device to download Shipley's consciousness into a simulant and discover Taylor had disobeyed orders and where he was heading. I guess the saying that the dead take their secrets to the grave isn't so true anymore. Well, Taylor and Alfie sneak into the city, but when they almost get caught at a checkpoint, Alfie uses her powers to cause a blackout to get past security. Taylor asks Drew if he still has the tracker on the ring he gave to Maya, insisting that she's still alive. Well, this brings new meaning to the factory, seeing them mass-produce a simulant like it was a sweatshirt shop in a third-world country. But after a thorough examination, Drew explains that Alfie is the most advanced sim he's ever seen, with the uncanny potential for growth, making her the most powerful being on the planet. The new Asian police tracks Alfie and attacks Drew's apartment, killing his simulant girlfriend. Makes you wonder how a human and a simulant couple would get down to business. Anyway, Taylor escapes with Alfie before Colonel Howell and McBride arrive. Drew traced the signal of Maya's tracker to their old house by the beach. The new Asian police close in on them, and Drew dies protecting Taylor.
We gotta go!
But not before he reveals that at the raid 5 years ago, the military uncovered intel that Maya was Nirmata. Taylor tried to escape with Alfie, but they were surrounded by the new Asian forces led by Harun, a simulant soldier and Nirmata's right-hand man. Harun takes Taylor back to their hideout as their prisoner. He explains how Maya inherited the name Nirmata after her father died. Hoping for peace, Maya created Alfie with the power to stop all weapons, technology included. Harun reveals that the indiscriminate bombing in Los Angeles was a human coding error.
The nuclear bomb in Los Angeles was a coding error, you know that?
Still, in response, the government unjustly cast the blame on AI. Harun explains that AI would never attack humanity and only wished to coexist peacefully. Now, this is not what we were told when Terminators attacked and Skynet controlled everything. Well, on the way to their hideout, Nomad cuts them off and bombs them out of existence. Harun gets distracted while Taylor convinces Alfie to free him. He escapes his captors and jumps off the boat, pretending to have run while stowing away. Well, time for another fun fact. In case you missed it, there's a secret cameo of the Star Wars Rogue One droid character K2SO in one of the casualties of war. Well, after seeing their base wiped out, Harun explains how Alfie can shut down Nomad with her powers. He worries that Alfie is too weak right now to take it out from a distance, and suggests they bring her up to the ship to take it down from the inside. A simulant soldier gets frustrated when Harun explains that Alfie wouldn't survive the crash if she did, but claims it would help change the tide of the war. Later that night, Taylor sneaks into the village and escapes with Alfie when the US military arrives and attacks the town led by Colonel Howell. The simulants and their sympathizers are cornered by a giant tank slowly approaching from the mountains. Now it seems even the monkeys are part of the rebels. When it picks up a detonator, a simulant drops and blows up the tank willy-nilly. Alfie urges Taylor to help, but when he refuses, Alfie escapes and runs towards the battlefield. As the military uses robot suicide bombers, Alfie stands in front of one and stops it in its tracks. McBride shoots Alfie, trying to retrieve her, but Taylor destroys and kills him instead. The bomb restarts when Alfie is knocked unconscious and blows up the bridge, giving Taylor and the others time to escape. Fun fact, hardcore Star Wars fans would not miss how these suicide bombers resemble the lovable Star Wars character R2-D2. With Alfie unconscious, Harun agrees to take them back to Nirmata. He explains to Taylor how Maya completed Alfie in secret while they were together, weeks before the night of the attack. He claims that Maya could have made Alfie hate humanity. But instead, she put her love for Taylor into the child. She created a new kind of life using the scan of her embryo, making Alfie a copy of his unborn child. Taylor remembers how Maya struggled all her life and strongly wished for the war to end. Upon arrival, they're greeted by simulant monks taking Alfie to be tended for her injuries. Taylor is later asked to go to a temple atop a cliff, where he discovers Maya has been in a coma since the raid on their home. A simulant monk explains how she had been stranded, neither alive nor dead, as simulants are programmed never to harm Nirmata. This responsibility now falls onto Taylor. Realizing what he must do, he apologizes to her and promises to make it right. Here's another fun fact. Did you know that, unlike other movie shooting styles, where they shoot in a studio against a giant green screen and create brilliant CG effects, director Edwards decided it would be more cost-effective to film on location in Asia. Among these are scenes shot on the volcanoes of Indonesia, historical ruins in Cambodia, Himalayan Buddhist temples, and even floating Asian villages, to name a few. To give that realistic feel, making use of the grand on-site film locations, the filming team had to shoot in full 360 degrees. The only challenge they'd have doing so is the lights, which would typically take 20 minutes when you want to move the camera. To solve this issue, director Edwards had their best man hold a microphone pole with a light on it, giving them only 4 seconds to change and letting the scene play out 5 times. Well, as soon as Taylor turns off the life support, the village is suddenly under attack by the US military. Colonel Howell finds Taylor and demands he surrender Alfie. When she's about to download Maya's consciousness, Harun shows up from behind and kills Howell with a bomb. Taylor escapes with Alfie, but not before he takes the flash drive with Maya's consciousness. Outside, they're captured and taken back to headquarters on separate choppers. How about another fun fact? Did you notice the detail on the robot statues carved into the wood in the temple scene, reflecting how technology has assimilated into our daily lives? The staff explained how this was a scene shot in the Sanctuary of Truth in Thailand instead of how it seemed to look in the movie, as if it were on top of a mountain in Nepal. At Fort Valor in Los Angeles, General Andrews explains to Taylor that they tried to eliminate Alfie, but she won't let them get close to her. He then gives him the option of helping them eliminate her, or they'll proceed with using more violent methods.
So either you help us, or our other methods will be unimaginably painful.
Taylor complies with the General's order when he's forced to kill Alfie with an electromagnetic pulse weapon. Andrews explains how they'll send the body to Ground Zero to be incinerated, to which Taylor requests to accompany them. Andrews later discovers that this was just a ruse by Taylor, who already planned their escape. Alfie then uses her powers to control the vehicle that they're on and escapes to a lunar shuttle. How about another fun fact? Did you notice that when Taylor and Alfie went to the spaceport, one of the destinations listed, Scarif, is a reference to a remote semi-tropical planet in Rogue One, which director Gareth Edwards also directed? Well, with a shuttle leaving the port, General Andrews orders all shuttles to turn back, but Alfie uses her powers to force the shuttle to land aboard Nomad. Taylor lures the soldiers inside the shuttle before he opens the airlock to pull them outside. When Andrews realizes that Taylor intends to blow up Nomad, he orders the command center to initiate bombings on all known AI bases. Taylor instructs Alfie to find the control room and turn off the ship's power so he can blow it up with a timed explosive. Now, after turning off the power, Taylor successfully plants the explosives and orders Alfie to return to the shuttle. On his way back, Alfie comes across a room of simulant bodies and finds a lifeless Maya simulant. She then used the memory chip Taylor entrusted to her, but the simulant didn't respond. Left with no choice, Alfie rushes towards a gasping Taylor, running out of air. Alfie runs to prepare the escape pod when Andrews suddenly activates a tentacled robot to attack them. Alfie uses her powers to buy them time for the explosives to blow up, which takes out the command center, rendering the missiles fired on the AI bases immobile. With the ship crashing, Alfie tries to open the escape pod, but it's stuck, and Taylor is forced to eject the pod, leaving himself behind, but not before they say the goodbyes. Here's another fun fact. Did you know that certain scenes were purposely held until the end of the shooting schedule? Director Edwards worried Madeline Voyle, the girl who played Alfie, wasn't ready for the emotional scenes as she was a shy girl. Only John David Washington, playing Taylor, was able to get her to open up and become like a big brother and best friend. The two became inseparable even after wrapping a take. Now, minutes before Nomad completely explodes, Taylor finds the Maya simulant, which Alfie activated earlier. The two spend their last moments sharing a passionate kiss. As Nomad explodes, killing them both. As Alfie safely returns to Earth, she witnesses the people celebrating Nomad's destruction as debris falls, while the rest cheer her on as the new Nirmata. One more fun fact for you. Did you know that the director, Gareth Edwards, got the idea for the plot when visiting his girlfriend's home in Iowa? One time, he looked out the window. He saw a Japanese-looking factory and thought how imaginative it would be if robots were built in a factory. Okay, one last fun fact. Director Edwards, who worked on the film, has no plans for a sequel. In an interview, he explains how he worked on the story backward from the end. He claims that he wants to reach the highest point of climax that he has envisioned, working on everything that leads to that moment, making the story self-contained within the movie. Well guys, that's it, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit like and subscribe. Make sure to tap that bell to be notified about our latest videos as well. Until then, we'll see you next time.